guards nga bakyusa musome bwe kayitala ku parliament mwabatali ko tubabulire mujimule ebintu. This is not a mere change of guards but a fundamental change. You fundamental change buka Museveni. Otege kati mwe mtu goba mu nsi yaffe mugitwala kwaba gashumba kati bwe mugenda okufuula ba governor ba Central Province sibo kati Buganda bagita Central Province kivandi gashumba yasode n'okuwasa omukazi alageti gentleman ega mu feba nanyini nsi mtu goba ne mu political system omunsi yaffe mugitwala buli kimu mu majje mu police buli kimu kati nsi yammwe tujja kusomesa abantu tubakunge bazuukuke omulundi gumu nga bwe kyali the fall of the Soviet Union. Akasika ali katono nnyo Estonia miliyoni 4 zayiwa ku kkubo neziwamba ensi. Kye tusomesa wano mu constitution ya Uganda kikkirizibwa okukunga abantu nga mulaba gavumenti eri mu buyinza byekola sibe mwagala ne mubakunga ne bawamba gavumenti ne bateekako awaabwe gwe bayataaga ate bwe mukwata ku Kyagulanyi mulimbuulira kubanga bino soda oyo gwowulira basoda abo bemuwulira basodo bemuwulira abo basodo anti sodo lyanga buno obusolo bw'embwa kinze bufe twabuyitanga tuli baana bato busodo agasolo g'embwa agano ne bagetanga gasodo embwa eyina gusodo. Otegedde ebirombe bya gold byonna byabwe babigabana ebirombe bya gold kimwetaaga kyeki tujja kukunga bannayuganda tujja kubakunga paka bajja kubagoba ngenda kusooka neggulire eno ngenda kusomesa nadde nsoma ojjagero lisome wano eggulire lya monitor ligamba Uganda youth young restless and dangerous bakeera kunywa mwenge kubanga omwenge baagusala ebbeeyi part of the policy ey'okudamya ensi. Omanyi ebintu bino musomesa abantu babiraba mu Soviet Union gye mulula mu Soviet Union baabikola ng'eggwanga litabuse bagoba kivu ne bagamba nti ati mubamukola musale ebbeeyi y'omwenge abantu nga banywa kwerabira amawulire gali gagawa nze sisomesanga sifunye mawulire kubanga ne betugenda mu kooti agamba nti nze mbawaayira bino akati ebintu bino how do we solve this problem tebalina mirimu tebalina ttaka tebalina future tebalina buli kimu kyokka ye ne gurupu ye mbu NRM nze njita NRM bali mu kalakatana kubba nsi katukole tutya buli wamu abakadde bakaaba ettaka balitutte buli wamu bakaaba ne bagamba nze bwampa omulimu Kyagulanyi teri muntu yabbibwako ttaka okuva mu Kampala paka mu Arua paka Kisoro wadde funfugu bweriti tujja kulibaddiza bonna mu Land Act. We are going to confiscate land from the Indians tutandika 1945 gye byakyamira ebya Uganda mwe byakyamira mu bayindi okujja mu Uganda nga abazungu babaleeta batujerega kyomuddugavu omuzungu tasobola kwagana muddugavu kubanga kumuguza mwanyi na pamba ne baleeta abayindi in between nga ba middlemen nga Uganda ogenda wa muyindi nomuga patero njagala ompe gaali n'amabaati 100 bwe naakungula emmwanyi bwe naakungula pamba tujja kubalira eyo ate ye bei gyakuwa gwe gyotwala kyava yagamba nga akatugamba nti kama pana taka kwenda mradari patero munnange mwanyagula bei ntono patero mwanyagula bei ntono nekagamba kama pana taka kwenda jari kekiwanya abayimbi kampe mulimu nze bako omulimu sijja kubalimba baganda bange tuddayo ku 45 ekyo nja kibasomesa engeri gyetugenda okukigaba kakati tugende ekintu kino kirimu engeri bbiri okuzimba eggwanga zo sente Museveni zayogera ze bajja mu gold nabira abawulire nga bagamba nti Uganda Rwanda ne Kenya zezi hub za gold yabibwe Congo mu billions oba Museveni oba gundi Idi Amin weyavira ku bukulembeze bwa Uganda kubanga Congo badde bagikozesa emyaka n'emyaka okugibba raw materials naamini ebimu ku byamuletera mitawaana Mwagategedde yagenda ne billioni 7 by then oba kati Museveni ne Muhoozi ne ba group kawa biba soda abo bonna bayina billion meka no one knows kyova tujja kubikebera nga bavudde mu buyinza kekalika dikirayo asset buli kimu tujja kukikebera so they have to be defeated and moved out of the country sijja kikulimba otege tujja kubasiba emyaka 10 assa abantu naye agenda kalaba kubanga kino ekintu tuteeka okukikola kakati tugende tutandika okusomesa wano kati there are two ways this thing we are going to create jobs kuba youth bano who are young, dangerous and restless what bayina hope there's no hope tugende there are two ways dimba gamba budunako the first thing we are going to see our natural resources sente meka ezivaamu buli mwezi oba buli week amabanja ameka getuyina ebintu bya people power bigenda kuba nga biri ku open teri secrecy government bali mu buyinza buli kimu nedda bigenda kuba mu lwatu amabanja gali bwegati Mamatia Kasajja bajja bwezi kisente esente mwaziteeka ludda the commission of inquiries ebintu bya bikwatibwe bitwalibwe n'ebiri ebweru tujja kubifuna babalowooza nti we just jokers Kyagulanyi ogwaba ali na international influence kakati nga njogera ekintu kino nti there are two ways some people say kubanga abantu besinga okuwulira bagamba nti Taori oyo musajja Taori gwe bagamba ati akwata ebintu by'ensi n'atunda n'akola ebintu by'ensi which is good naye ali ku wrong ideology ffe tugamba yes we can do that kati nga amafuta go gagenda kusomesa baana bonna kuva wansi paka mu university wonna tusobola okugunjula eggwanga lituusa ku international standards bakozesa kusoma kyova ne things are pink yakwa naye comes to the issue nti bwe tukwata raw materials tugamba nti tuzimbe eggwanga it will take us many years to modernize that country ng'abamu baafa dda kati nga bawulira gundi bwe yagamba ono musajja waffe wawano wayuna muva wala kizibu nnyo oba ono kapere n'agamba nti uganda kutuuka ku international standards ejja kutwala emyaka 10 so kati ffe tugamba nti the alternative we have nga tukkiriziganyiza mu conferences okugjawo enfuga embi eya Museveni kubanga enfuga embi eya Museveni ffenna bannayuganda baba bali mu Uganda tuteeka okukkaanya ye constitutional conference eri eya buli myezi 6 nga tukola constitution ne tulaba ne way forward obutaleeta gumuko obutakola ki oba obutalemwa kubanga there are so many things to do okukyusa buli kimu kukijja eno ku left okukizza ku right kakati others say nti tukozese system eyo abalala bagamba nti no we borrow we put everyone to work and we build a country. Nga bwe tudduka mangu nga tuzimba industries. Nga bwe tudduka mangu okuzimba industries. Olwo tugendera okweta namungi wa co-partners, what we call the co-partners, mu investment ne mu America, the Western democracies. Well, there are two ways. President Biden, musajja yali mulungi nnyo, ye yali atuwadde ffe tuzimbe mu system eri. Naye bw'otunula Trump, the way we are going to approach, because we are waiting for this conference, egenda okuba Barrington one, tulabe engeri tugenda okukikolamu. The way President Trump, who is a good man, bo baamulonda, tugenda nga mu nsi y'abantu ate n'ovumirira abantu nga naye wajja okaaba oyota mugume tetwagala kubanga basodo. No, he's a good man, he's the president of the United States of America. Tulina okulaba ye proposal ki gy'atuwa ffe nga bannayuganda ffenna mu kintu kino kubanga mu geopolitical balance eya region oba n'ensi, the Great Lakes region and Africa is now going to play a crucial role. Tuva gye balwanira biggwera waffe. So ekyo sinza kuba details mbawaddeko hint. Kakati tugende tugira kukikola tutya ekikulu nga tutandika ku kintu kino. Tugenda kukola kibayita authorities or settlements. Kati mbanyonyere ekintu kino. Once we recover the stolen land, ne tuziddiza bannannyinizo, we can buy from them. We can buy from them. Nga buli emu development, you under the Uganda Development Authority. Tuwanga under the Uganda Development Authority, ye pira mojja Buganda Development Authority, Busoga Development Authority, Eastern Development Authority, Northern Uganda Development Authority, East and West Development Authority, okuzimba dams, okuzimba infrastructures zonna, factories na biki byonna, put people to work. Kakati settlements zondala kakati kamenye ekiri kino how we are going to do it. Nti settlements ze ki kubanga abantu bino bintu bamu tebabitegeera nti bw'oba ofunye ettaka jjukira mu Uganda already mulimu ebibuga buli wamu ng'abantu balina ebyapa by'ettaka byabwe babiina Buyikwe, Mukono, Kampala, but there's what we call settlements. So twabagamba nti mu proposal yekugoya bannayuganda babikoleko referendum ebibuga byo byakuzimbwa bulala, ebibuga okubimodernizing byakuzimbwa bulala, nti omuntu abadde n'akazigo Katwe, Kibuye, Nateete, okitegedde bigenda kuteekebwa kuzimbibwa zi high rises naye ng'abantu bazigabana. Oli akataka kaali kenkana bwe kati afunyeeko apartments oba floor 2, I don't know bwekityo kakati wona mukadde talina ssente afunamu akasente mweno nakano okumuyamba okumusasulira something bwekityo. Kati at settlements they are totally different. Ziba ne land authority settlement ngira kuzibasomesa the land authority. A settlement kabanga kabuga mu kibuga under a federal state. Kankwe ekintu kye engeri tugenda kukikolamu okitegeere bulungi nnyo. A settlement eba oba ng'azimbye ekibuga ekipya nga power Israel settlements. Ebintu bino bwe binaatuuka tujja kuwa abantu ssente. Omuyika Museveni ako bwe kaali kakyali kantu kaabuuzanga abantu ne kababuuza nti mmwe ffe tutambula ebweru nga tulaba ensi yonna erabika bulungi bwe temusobola kukikola Uganda. Naye nga weewuunya abantu abaali bakola mu bintu bino bikapa city council byani babimanyi ebibuga ebifaanane obulungi. So nga tugenda okukola ebintu bino, those that are going to be involved in the entire scope of the country of these projects bajja kusasulibwa bagende balabe kati nga zi settlements zikolebwa zitya ne consultation nti a settlement yemu mu kitundu kyerimu n'ettaka lye bayina is totally nga nsi namba engeri administrations zikolamu police engeri gye zikolamu buli kimu ebyapa bu subland titles kati gavumenti mulimu awamu awali apartments, mulimu awali industrial zones, mulimu awali factories. Engeri gye tulina okutereezaamu ekintu ky'aba abaana bemula abantu tebalina mirimu. They are Ugandans. Kubanga tugenda kukwata abantu twabagamba nti tuwagenda kuba muzannyo olina okugenda n'osoma olina okubaayo n'olunaku lwo olwamukyaka olw'okukuuma eggwanga kubanga tugenda kumenyaga amagye ga Sodo ne Muhoozi ne Museveni tukole amagye ga Uganda naye nga amagye tugakola nga aga Israeli oba aga Switzerland. Every Ugandan from 18 to 54 alina okuba okukuuma ensi okuuma obugagga n'okutereza ensi. Situlina kulekera abantu kukuuma ggwanga kutuzza muziku tulina okugikola nga eri ggulugulu nga security y'eggwanga eri ggulugulu ate tetulina mirerembe na neighboring country kubanga our policy will be solving and working with the neighboring countries mu trade mu investment buli kimu okukola the Great Lakes community bulungi nnyo butune bya Museveni byonna bifu. Kakati tugere ku kino nti mubaamu authority mubaamu factory zones kubanga the key to win all this is engeri gye tuna negotiating ne President Trump ne administration ye nga batuwa sente n'akatale kubanga foreign exchange tumwetaaga okusasula gye tuba tufunye nabagambye nti bwe tugenda mu bino ebya tawori ata azimba enguudo kirungi nnyo but it will take us 100 years okumodernizinga eggwanga ate ffe twabagamba under people power plan eriwo ya 10 years under Kyagulanyi. Ndoza mulaba ekintu kino twanga abantu bejogera ekintu kino bagamba nti mu struggle oba mu international politics someone responsible or in that key position go the prime minister go batunuulira tekitegeeza nti yafuga eggwanga kyova nti ogwo mulimu buli kiro gwensaba nenga nti nze banimpadde ogwo kati abantu abamu batandise okuntegeera bibagamba nga tumutegeera ayagala kuvuganya nangati muvuganya atya kati nze nina ekibiina ku ground tingende nve wano kati mwalabye nanoonyeza tiketi yonna mu Uganda asaba tiketi ye Namagoola asaba tiketi yegindi ya LC system gye nnwanyisa okuvaawo eyo ya Museveni kakabwe kalowooza tibukaleeta system eyo fena tujja kuddukira muri forever. Kakati factory zones zimaze okuzikolako nti omuntu ajja kuba akeera ku makya ennyimba zizimbiddwa aweereddwa apartment ye aweereddwa emyaka egyo gisasula alina omulimu asoma oba bamututte bweru oba kusoma bwa nansi oba bwa makanika oba bwa engineer in everything we shall solve this. Tekitegeeza nti eggwanga lyo tujja diteeka under authorities zino ndoza mukitege settlement because a settlement muzisomeko the authorities an authority eba kabanga akabuga oba ensi mu nsi kati act zaake zikafuga bw'osomeza Israeli ebintu bino mubisome. Kakati eyaffe tubagamba tetusobola kuleeta kintu nga tebantu banayiga gwe mulimu gwaffe okugenda mu conference room wali ate mujjukire mu democracy gwe tulwanira teri kukakako omuntu nti bano bakyoli bano balango bano bajja padola bo they are under class. No, we all come together buli mwaka myezi ebiri emirundi ebiri mu myezi mukaaga ne mu December netuddeyo ne tukola bali wonte ffe tetukyagadde kuba mu democracy mumanyi nti bw'otunula constitution kwanza nasoma nnyo constitutionism mu America engeri gye baatukola buli federal state erina constitution yayo n'amawanga n'obuwaayiro bwayo ne bagincorporatinga mu ndala teri gwe bakakako kintu kakati these zones are part of the broader pattern of Israeli business activity in the West Bank that some view as contributing to Israel's occupation of the territory. Kati nkuwa example osome ebintu bino obirabe. The settlements zino omwana abadde anyokera ku makya anywa omwenge alina apartment ey'okusasula nga ye tutumaze ogizimba economy etandise okutambula tusasula amabanja ate naffe ssente weziri omwana alina ogisasula emyaka gya 30 the earlier the better ate wanaatandika butandisi kubanga ye yabaddemu ku part of the program okuzimba kati yiye nti ennyumba eyo yiyo ya bisenge 3 okutegedde naye tekigaana nti oyina ettaka lyekabera maido ndozo olaba ekintu kino kakati nti yengeri gye tugenda okusolvinga mu problems eno unemployment education system byonna mu system eyo ebibuga bisigala bibuga ettaka ly'obwannannyini lisigala ttaka lya bwannannyini teryaggwe bajjako ttaka nti kuba tulina okuzimba ki okuggyako nga waliwo interest gye nabagamba wali nti tugenda kuyisaawo kisaawe ky'ennyonyi kigenda kudevelopinga tugenda kuyisaawo oluguudo gaali ya mukka metros tugenda kukola ki tugamba nti musoke ti oba zaituni ti oba gundi oba okwalinga ti wano wagendawo kino naye tubadde tukusaba tukolaganire wamu partnership si bino abalamuzi bange ka Museveni mumuwe sente zayagamba zitwale ku district mutwale kikukawambwa abalamuzi babe kati buli muntu akiraba bayagala kuzimba bakola amateeka agatwala ebintu bino noga ati ekifo kino ti obadde olina amaduuka gono ti katugambe nti value ne land buyer wadde emitwalo 10 value yowano according to the market value of the area gyolimu otegedde ate mujjuke tugera kumala kussa value y'ettaka ekyo nakibanyonyo ngeri gye tugera okugissa tugera ku confiscating ettaka libasalimu sale libabbye Museveni libabbye kasooke babulira ekintu kino ku Museveni mukiwulire Museveni agamba nti alina ettaka kamabulira ekintu kino mwefe tumutunudde ebbanga ddene Kisozi Lwankyas yabeeranga awo nga ku Nomani Godina awo Kisozi Lwankyas emikwano gwange Museveni yamuyita n'amugamba nti njagala onguze ettaka y'ekisozi faamu y'ekisozi was a very young wealthman bwe yafa kati simanyi oba gyali namugamba linguze ab'amagye tebalina faamu Kisozi n'akwata yamusasula mu dollars n'akwata faamu n'agiguza Ministry of Defense. Museveni bwe yamala n'agenda ku high command ey'amagye n'agisaba ng'ate yagikulira okumuguza Kisozi Lwankyas gy'owulira gy'alina ente nnyingi nnyo ettaka lirye oba lirimu corruption omaye yeepanka awo Kyagulanyi wajja okudiiringa naye kale katulinde ebintu bino gye ffe tujja kubakunga paka bwemunazo bajja kukiyiwa kasita buli munnayuganda anaategeera nti Museveni kyekizibu ky'eggwanga era ebintu byazimba bya bbi tebiriiyo bituzza mabega nakutubonyaabonya kati nga buli wamu kamera drone ziri waggulu ne baba weebase ekyo bakuba bomu ne bagamba twasanzemu bomu baade balina okumutta nga North Korea ngenda kubibasomesa kakati ettaka ly'ekisozi lyani temuliimu corruption senga ye yaligula ku ssente ze twandimubuuzizza ssente yazijja nga bwe yakola ku Milton Obote Foundation ku Uganda House kwana yo later controversy after the fall of Obote nga bagamba nti asente zaali za mubi wa musolo kati yeki yava ayita mu kakubo kali nadda bwati n'amaana ajeeguza gyalina ente empitirivu ennyo n'abbirako n'ettaka lyabo bannanyini bali wano twabagamba nti ekyettaka tekijja kulekebwa ku muntu yenna kubba kale tutandike tugende tusante nga tusomesa kakati ekya settlements ne factory zones ne farm ne police zonna bazimba kumpi nsi wezaawukanira nti mu federal state yemu ate mubanga omulimu bu state obulala n'amateeka gaabyo bwe kibeera n'amateeka agafuga kuba tojja kuba nti wafuna subtitle nga title kakati n'okutunda empewo eyo settlements ziba nkulu nnyo kuba bamanya dda nti Musoke yagula apartment eno zino zisatu ne famire ye nannyini edduuka ye nannyini sinema ye nannyini kino era bw'oba otunda mu lunaku lumu ne transfer zikolebwa naye si bino ebya Museveni nti omuntu akyogula ettaka batatu okugula ettaka limu ne lifaayo wewe omujaasi gwempulira lwayogerako jjuuzawo nga basiibula bano bagundi ng'omujaasi yagula ettaka mujaasi abadde atta abantu bakyagulanya bamununula yagula ettaka ku ssente ze baamuwa akasiimo atandike bizinesi ebyapa ebirala bisatu ne bivaayo ng'ekyo kifu kyokka abajaasi kyagulanya bagamba nti nze nwanirira mmwe bino bitukola bitereeza ggwanga ate tebijja kuba fayino okugjako nga ffenna tugenze mukaawa mune tugenda ne mu ziriferandamu bane ekintu kino mwaga kino tugenda ku kya North Korea mbawe comparison ya North Korea wande ettaka liba liryo buli kimu kiba kikyo tugende ku North Korea mugisomeka mugisome kubanga Museveni yo gwolaba oyo Museveni yo gwa kyoba nti muzeeyi gwabamita great leader ne muhoozi n'obusungu bwakosa ne system yonna agenda kuzimba North Korea twakibagamba emirundi buli twasomesa akibagamba nammwe mukiraba ojja kgenda osome ku Kim Il Sung eyali General Secretary of Workers Party of North Korea eyatandika system eyo nga bwe Museveni buli wamu avuganya amunyiga paka mutabani wagenda kuzimba kati byemulaba nti abantu bakyalinamu land ownership akatono mukayana bajja kwejo kamabuulire ekyali Ethiopia simanyi yali Haile Mengistu Mariam Haile one of the two some kiyakola Ethiopia kati ali mange eyo oba Zambia oba Zimbabwe ali mange eyo gye bamuwa gye yeebaka nga bamugobye yakwata ettaka n'alijja ku bwannannyini mu Ethiopia n'aliza mu mikono gya gavumenti ne baliwa Abachina ne baliwa Saudi Arabia ne baliwa abaki kakati otunula North Korea temuli alina land ownership tewaba enterprise ya muntu wa bulijjo factories za gavumenti kyova nti Museveni bazimba ebyo bifactory by'owulira byazimba oyo omusajja kasabiti gye baakawatika kapulira factories ezo ye system gye bazimba buli muntu bwagamba nti tulinde enkya tutereeze tetulina kutulinda cross kufanda wabagera okukyusa the changing of the guards muna Uganda kasaba kwata mu kalulu nga buli muntu agenda ku kkubo ng'awamba buyinza constitution ekikkiriza ya Uganda yenyini ekiteekamu oli bwana agamba nti bino tebinkwatako bye tusomesa wano nga gye biraga talabayo kati ngoyo omwana gwe basse babadde bamulaba ku drone kubanga drone zennyini ne mu state house mweziri under Muhoozi akulira security babadde bamulaba ku kamera wali kyova nti China gyolabeeyo ne bw'osuula akasaani kuba bakulaba ensi gye mwagala fatugamba nti kati mu authorities nga zino for the sake of the security ne post office zijja kubaamu yes kamera zibaamu for security kubanga tulina okuzimba network nga poliisi za bitundu poliisi ya Buganda poliisi ya Nkole naye ate bw'otuuka mu katundu akewammwe kapaka poliisi yaayo poliisi eba yaayo nti bw'onyiga 999 mu ddakiika 5 kadenge ebe kutuuseeko kuyamba ambulance ebe kutuuseeko kuyamba abazikiza omuliro baba batuuse yenge kye tugenda okuzimba mu communities zino naye tujja kutuula butuuzi ku mulembe ogwaffe nga tulaba omwana azimba ekintu ekigenda okututuuka mu byenda abaganye ng'asirika special force command kyova ayinaaga amajege ge bayitaaga special force command ye counter revolutionary force balina obuyinza n'okukuba abapoliisi nga batutte omuntu abbye ettaka omulimu gwabwe babagenderera kutiisa buli munnayuganda nga bwolaba South Korea manyi mu North Korea otunula land policies eziri mu North Korea ne land policies eziri mu South Korea South Korea abantu balina amataka nga bwolaba mu nsi endala zonna mu North Korea okukwata nga badde bakulaba ku kamera nga twakubye ekifaananyi kya Museveni ng'afudde ogenda mu kkomera Kyoto, I want you to solve the Uganda unemployment, but only understand English. Okay, let me change it to English. So I was talking about making a comparison between Kim Il-sung, what he did when he was building the system of the North Korea, like Muhoozi is going to be building, because Museveni is the founding father of the dynasty of what Muhoozi wants to put forward in Uganda. What he wants to put forward in Uganda, a North Korea system, so that their families and generations to come, they'll take over the country. So I'm not going to be teaching in English. So I wish I knew. I wish I knew. You would have told me earlier. So get time and study how the North Korea system of government was built. They never woke up. They had to build it step by step. Now that you see that Muhoozi is now in control of the government. Muhoozi is the president now. If you people don't know, he's the president. But of what use is it? Like that friend of his that just died, this Babu's son. He died. Because people say, for me, I'm going to be supporting this man. I feel like, I once had a lady I was talking to, and she was working in Saudi Arabia. Then I asked her, but whom do you support? She was a Mukonjo, and she told me, for me, I support Museveni. I said, really? You are working in Saudi Arabia as a maid. She told me that they're even beating her if she doesn't do, because you signed contract of being a slave to these families. Now you see the problem. So now you are supporting Museveni or Muhoozi without knowing the root cause of your problem of the suffering. So what we are teaching people is how do we solve Uganda's problem of unemployment and housing. The steps we are going to do step by step, how we are going to do it. Are we going to do it slowly by slowly, like this famous man in West Africa, or we are going to do it at once in 10 years? For us, we are saying the best way, if we can get money and borrow from America, all the American institutions with the help of the hand of the American Congress and the president, then we are going to build the entire country non-stop. Non-stop, we are going to bail out ourselves out of the agreements of the oil, because the oil, we are going to use it to fund the education system from primary one, even if nursery, we can do it up to the best universities in the world. Free education, because we cannot develop a country without the best international education. That's what Deng Xiaoping did in 1979 when he was making agreement with America. So now, let's go to this one. We now go to this one. We now go to this one. This one I'll count with it. In principle, North Korea do not privately own land or property. Because what you see, if we let Museveni and after Museveni's death, and his son is in total control, because he's now partially in control, he'll take away land ownership and property. The state. That's how they build the system. These are not jokes. Whoever says, oh, for me, how can he do it? Remember, many years ago, the European Union and the American government was telling Museveni that you're not going to bring your son to lead the government. We shall do everything we can. Today, what are they doing? It's up to us as Ugandans. That's why we are teaching you. To make a decision. Way before they were saying we shall not allow them. But now, what can they do? He's already there. He owns the army. He's the chief of defense forces. Because last time we talked about how we are going to solve that issue of the army and that very great position of the chief of defense forces. We told you that we are going to solve it because that's the key in stability of the country. We are going to solve the army issue, and then we are going also to solve it through the Switzerland system of how they choose the chief of defense forces. It's chosen through the Federal Council, and the highest chief of staff in the army during peacetime must be of lower rank to the general above him. But in war, it's like this. That's the same system Museveni has used, that you cannot make movement of the troops in Uganda because the lower rank is in charge of the movement of the troops. You people, you don't know these things. That's why we teach people these things. So now, the North Korean constitution states that all land and property are owned by the state. What you see in Uganda today, because look at what they did recently in their parliament. Look at what they did in the parliament, passing that law that we shall make sure that any member of parliament that signed on that law that overthrew the constitution of Uganda, though it's a bad constitution, because I was there when they were making it, shall never participate in any political system of the country. If at all we leave them in the country, they shall never participate in any. I take it. Well, unless we do this type of things, these things of that are being done in Uganda shall never stop to be done unless we use the iron hand. Now, let's go to buying land, or let's buying property in the settlement, because I told you that we are using the model of the settlements in Israel, how we are going to build the country, to take away the unemployment first, because we must put every person. People said it can't work. In America, if you study in America, if you go to Google, you can even study these things. They use what they call the Tennessee Valley Authority. Rules of faith, the Tennessee Valley Authority. In America, after the Great Crisis of 19 28, the great world crisis. The Americans were not at work. Millions were not at work. Until Roosevelt said, no, for me, I have a working plan. To this day, it has never happened again. They use what they call the Tennessee Valley Authority to put people to work. We told you it's the system we are going to use to put people to work. But we are going to be having one authority, the Uganda Development Authority. Like a Fibonacci, I don't know if you know what they call a Fibonacci plan. Then out of that, we shall be having branches. The Buganda Development Authority, the Busoga Development Authority, the Ankole Development Authority, the Western Development Authority, Kasese. So, because you follow the liver patterns, because it involves energy, control the flooding. Look at the flooding in the country that no one has a solution. For us, people power of Robert Chaguan has a solution. We say no. We build dams, uphill dams. We produce so much energy to run our factories day and night. So, buying property in Israel settlement in the West Bank involving navigation of complex legal and political landscape. That is Israel. That is Israel. For us, we are going to say, when we enter into the conference rooms, making the rules for these authorities, it's we that are going to be making the rules. We, the Ugandan people. Then we see. Then next 6 months we come back, we say, look, this is not working. In my area, this has brought a problem. This has brought a problem. How do we solve this and this? So, while Israel law allows for establishment and purchase of property in settlements, it's widely considered illegal under international law. Now we come to that problem. You see, we have a problem because these Indians in Uganda now took it that Uganda is now their land. They came in 1945. Remember, Museveni to bring the Indians and give them their property back. It was through a legal challenge that he faced. Because Somel had been in Uganda politics for long. The Indians, the Muhindi Muzungu that had gone to Britain, lobbied and said, please, now Museveni has come in. He chased us out of Uganda, but we left properties there. Do not give them money until they give us our property. Museveni had to give them the property. Now it comes to us. It comes to us now. What are we going to do? Because you see, South Africa today is facing the same problem because Mandela made a mistake on that land issues. How are we going to navigate? Because if you see that the geopolitical balance now involves America working with India today. They are working with India because India is the only country that has manpower in case of war to counterbalance the Chinese military machine. And we need the money. So how are we going to navigate that? Because we are going to take the land. We shall compensate to them. Yes. How much money did you buy this land? Because you are going to put the price of land down. But how much money did you buy this land? Because the act in Uganda is going to be specific. No one except the religious leaders and institutions. How are we going to navigate this? We shall put an act of land that no Ugandan, even me, shall own more than 100 acres in all the country. If you buy 10 in Kigezi, you buy 10 in Busoga, you buy 10 in Karamoja where land is very cheap. No one is to buy more than 100. No one. So we shall get the land from there. The rest of the land, you take it back to the district and the state there so that the people of Uganda can get land. Because we cannot develop capitalism. Capitalism is the only way that will give us wealth, financial stability, economic growth, and everything. You see that problem? The American capitalism, that after we have established our factories, and we are working with the American investors. The American investors not to own our land, not to own our factories. That's the key thing there, like Deng Xiaoping did. An American, you have a piece of land. So, for example, I have an acre, an acre, an acre. We put together 10 acres of land, and we build an industry that is going to be manufacturing this. I always use this thing. It's going to be manufacturing this. So for us, because we did not have enough capital, we bring in an American with enough capital and establish a factory, but it's owned by us, the means of production. For us, we're only giving them the finished product so that they can sell to the American market. And the agreement must not exceed 10 years. It's like at the gas station. The gas station. It must not exceed. So that after 10 years, every Ugandan is going to be mafuta mingi. So we took a good start of this, how we are going to do it. These factories, we told you that the way we are going to do it, we are going to do it in a way, the small-scale industries in every part of the country, small-scale industries, and it's going to be owned by the people of that area. Then you have the medium-scale industries. Then you have the heavy industries, which is the killing point for Museveni. Because Museveni, his 10-point program, he clearly said that the heavy industries shall belong to the government, like the communist ideology, like the North Korea ideology, so that you are a servant for them. And now, because Museveni didn't want to put money there, he uses the Indians. The Indians own the heavy industries in Uganda. But Museveni and his family are co-owners. You cannot establish a factory in Uganda until you talk to Mike Mukula. Oyagala kuzimba factory. Why do you want to put a factory here? He said, yes, but the first family must have a share. That's the fact. So that even if Museveni is dead or his son is dead, forever they will be making money. For us, we are saying no. The heavy industries. For example, I'm going to give you that, like the iron ore of the Western Uganda, which is the highest grade, they say in Africa, very good iron ore. It's going to be owned, that's a heavy industry. It's going to be owned by the people. The iron ore is for the people of Uganda, of which we shall work on the percentage. The 75% for the country and the 25% for that Ankole region. But the heavy industry, the shareholding is going to be for the people of Ankole. Bunyolo, the oil, the same. What chunk are they going to get? Not, this is for the country. The oil must be going somewhere. You don't know, no ask. Don't ask, don't tell these things. No one is supposed to talk about oil issues. They are from hoes. We said no. So you see the problem, how we are going to solve it. The unemployment and the housing crisis. Redeveloping our cities. Cleaning the wetlands. Moving people from wetland areas. Look at Kampala. The erosions. So let me go forward and explain to you. You read these things. This is relevant what I was going to teach. No, not all land in Israel belongs to the land authority. Because in the settlements, these settlements, the land authority is owned by the land authorities. But in Uganda, you have Milo land, you have customary land. So this is an addition. Because you tell me, if we have how many square miles where we are going to build these settlements, how are you going to divide the land and have each one have a title? It must be on one land title under the authority. Then you issue subtitles to gas stations, mechanical workshops, but modernized. So let's go forward. Okay. Land authorities, like the land court in Massachusetts, I was inquiring about the American, how they do it. Primary focus on ensuring the accurate and efficient administration of land ownership and use. This involves processes like registering land titles, managing property disputes, overseeing the transfer of ownership. So in these land authorities, I'm not saying this is the final, I'm just teaching that this is final. No. For us, when we go in the conference room, all Ugandans, to make the Ugandan constitution, new constitution, and to solve these problems, that's where we shall go and say, how do you want us to do this? What is more appropriate for this area? You see, so that these people who say, I went and bought a land title, I went and bought a building from the land authority, I have such an apartment, the 3-bedroom apartment, it's mine forever. I have the subtitle. And then tomorrow morning, someone comes and tells you that, no, this is mine. I bought this one, I bought this. Then we go to court. No, this one will all be solved in the authorities. Not all Ugandan land is going to be under authorities. No. This is areas where we are going to be getting these young boys and girls that are on the street to put them to work, to put them to school, to put everything that they need to get off the street. For example, let me tell you, if someone in the morning has a car, we shall cut the prices of the taxes of the cars because we haven't built our own capacity. We need to build our own capacity of manufacturing. Recently, I was looking at in Germany, they are going to lay off so many, maybe 20,000 manufacturers of Volkswagen, and already Rwanda has Volkswagen there. Rwanda is producing Volkswagen in Rwanda. So how are we going to do it? To develop our own system. We are going to be hiring these people in the authorities, not in the settlement. In the authorities, we hire Uganda Development Authority. We hire these people, the workers, the specialized workers, to work with our people, so that we put them to work and show them how they assemble a car. They're there. They don't have jobs. They were laid off, and they're going to be laid off for the next, even in America. So we have the good plan to kick Museveni out and build a country. We now go to this President Trump, our good president here. Trump reinstates U.S. travel ban, bans citizens from other countries. So unless we, the people of Africa or Uganda, particularly or the Great Lakes region, solve our own problems and modernize our own countries, the world is tired of us. You see people crying here when they are evicting them from America, or when they are taking them back home to where they belong. They are crying. This we have an opportunity to change this. A working plan and an opportunity now with Kyagulanyi. Don't look at him as if he's someone. No. Look at him as someone who is able to get us out of this problem. Israel plans 1,000 unit expansion for occupied West Bank settlements. You see how they build the settlements? They just don't build. Let me give you an example of this Prime Minister Nabanja. The people of, most cases, these people of Renzori, no, not Renzori, Abagisu, this, how do they call it? The Bagisu people, our friends. The Bagis people. How many people suffered under those landslides? Look at the houses that were built to settle there. For us, when we are going to build settlements, high rises, because the land is shrinking because of the overpopulation Museveni has caused in the wars, though we are going to take them back in a peaceful way. I told you we are not going to force people. We shall just deny them the right to buy land in Uganda. No one is going to buy land as a foreigner. No South Sudan is going to buy land in Uganda. If you bought land, you take it away under the act. You had to have come here. Even if you are not a citizen of this country, you can only lease land. Even if I'm going to build a factory or farm to grow cotton, and I'm going to South Sudan because they have big land there, chunks of land. South Sudan or Sudan, I lease for 49 years. So that's the way we are going to be building and solving this problem of putting people to work, putting people to work, putting people to work. I was going to teach about this, but I think it's irrelevant. But I can even mention about it. In Uganda, I was reading about this thing that is here. They want water towers. Everywhere in the countries, people are building water towers. Ethiopia, so many countries where they are the people that are oppressed that cannot get water. The water towers. This one we shall build even in the remotest. Remember what this man did? This man of the late South African president, who Nelson Mandela, our hero, was to solve this water problem. For me, I went to Tanzania in 1990. Tanzania, after I came out of jail in 1990, I don't want to talk about that. I went up to Tanzania, but I was surprised that most areas in Tanzania had running water. But in Uganda, under Museveni and his son, what they are building is a military system. Security, 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 security. The security of the people is the life that they hold as God-given in their country. We shall get away this problem of building a security, and we shall concentrate in the well-being of the people of Uganda in even the lowest part or the remotest part of the country. Everyone must have running, safe water. The toilets, let me talk about toilets as I conclude. The toilets in America, if you look at I think the law that abolished toilet is almost, I think it was 18 something, 18 or 1900, 120 years. In America, you can never find this pit that in Akayu. It's not there. It's not there. But in Uganda, you find a very rich man, Mugaga, but he has a toilet behind. A small toilet behind. And the flies come during the day, they go there. At night, they fly to the food. And people get sick. So, all this we shall solve. All this, Africans should come back home with all the skill they have learned. Let me answer you that very well. This is how we are going to do it. Thank you for letting me know about this. The way we are going to do this is very simple. Let me tell it to you. We are going to squeeze these Indians and the Chinese because we are going to take them out gradually. Let me tell you the trick. I think they will not listen to this program. Let me tell you, because we don't want them to run. If you look at Samora Machel, the aftermath of a very good revolution where so many people died, like the one of Luwe, he told the Portuguese to leave the country, and the industrial capacity of the country failed, which we do not want. We are going to take them out of the country gradually by issuing a 5-year license think I've been teaching about this. We issue a 5-year license. At Apatero, you have been having a factory here. Museveni gave you a black check. Your factory doesn't have a license that is renewable every this sort of years. 5 years going to say no. We give it to you every 5 years. As we are building our own Ugandan industries, so that the people of Uganda that are in the diaspora, I'm now concentrating on the diaspora people that are there, they have money, they have bought houses, they have investment, they have skills. How are we going to bring them back home? Every Indian, every Chinese we kick out of the country, we shall kick them out of the country. We shall put a fund, an investment fund, to buy the property of these people that are departing. You didn't hear me. The workers that have been working in these factories are already there. They are Ugandans, except a few. But the ownership of taking over this, they need people. Like someone has a house in America that is worth $1 million or $2 million. People have them here. And all you need is 100 billion or 10 billion or 1 billion to buy that big factor of these people. So with the way we are going to bring them back home is offering them that investment on Muyindia again. You people remember very well when the Rwandanese were going after the war of genocide in Rwanda, in all massacre, in all Chagwe. People were not, we didn't want to confess that they are Rwandans. But as we are going, even me almost bought a land in Masaka. They say, hey, Rwanda agenda is sailing. So the same way that we shall bring back our people from the diaspora, so many of them. Forget about this one working in Saudi Arabia. This one we are going to bring them home, the young girls, the women, and we are going to bring them to America direct to go to school while we are paying them. So that the health care system, we develop our health care system, the nurses, the doctors. That's how we are going to do it. But for this one, of bringing back the people from the diaspora, we shall make sure that every virtue of an Indian living that we have forced, we shall force them. We don't issue them a license exceeding 5 years. After 5 years, we check. By then, they would have known that these people don't want us. And now these people are going to be on standby. You people, we have an investment fund. You put down this amount of money, the raw materials are there, the market are there, and you give us back the balance. So Muyindi is selling the factory. It's at $20 million or $50 million. They're selling the factory, of which he bought. I was looking at this. There was an incident in Tororo where the two Chinese were fighting in the Ugandan court, where a Chinese paid very little amount of money. In Tororo, I don't think that everyone remembers that case. I'll research and give it to you next Sunday. They were buying. He bought mineral rights, and then he was selling it to another Chinese at way higher the price. And now they had a dispute, and then they were going to Ugandan court. It's our land, they are our minerals, they are our everything. They're just making money because a government official or a minister has been paid millions of dollars behind. So that's how we are going to solve it. The diaspora people, be ready. We said now, okay, and we need is selling 50 million. You people, the fund is here. We bail him out. He goes. You take over the ownership, and we give you every month. You are paying. You'll be paying us this money with such an interest, low interest. So you bring back our people. I think I've answered your question. I don't think you have any other to ask me. So this is the way we are going to do things. We shall put people to work and modernize the country in 10 years. We shall attack it in every angle. Unemployment, education, health care, transportation, railway, networking, metros, settlement, everywhere. we shall build our own. For example, let's talk about this as I'm finishing to get off this air, so that you can listen to Mbuye. The cement, a scale like that I've been talking about, we shall need our own factories of cement. Our own. Our steel rolling mills. Our own. Who owns all these facilities in Uganda? Who owns them? The Indian. Museveni says, where are my Indians? You own Kasese. You own this. You own fertilizers. You own this. You own granite. So that now you say that under Museveni and under Muhoozi, if he's going to do the same, so we get the money that we are going to be borrowing that as they have been borrowing, and then we give it to the Indians and the Chinese, and then we take the finished goods and then build a country. No. We take it back, we develop our own industries and capacity, produce everything at a cheap price. We shall even go further. We shall even go further. Let me tell you about this. When Museveni was coming to power, there was this Namuwongo project. It was a good example of the Prime Minister's office of Kiseka. That in every slum area, they would give you blocks and tiles and everything. I think up to this day, I know someone who got some tiles for free. You just go there that I have a house here. I need tiles, 2,000 tiles. You come and take a measurement. But for us, we are saying no. In every place, because they are what people are going to be building their own individual homes to modernize the country. We shall put locations like this, where you buy cheap blocks, cement blocks, or bricks, cheap manufactured at a low cost, tiles, steel, everything. I think that's enough for today. Those are Chimala. You are very, very insightful, Richard, waiting from Sweden. But then you call it. Nasoma nnyo okubala otegedde kyova nkola engineering. I do a lot of engineering. Naye byebyo byolwaleero nze nkoze ogwange anaalaba vidiyo eno gilikinge gisharinge. I know ebya Museveni, we give him another 50 years for his son to be another North Korea in Uganda. In the end, buli muna Uganda jakaba. In the end, every Uganda shall cry. So, see you next Sunday. At the same time, go and listen to Teacher Lumbuye. Okay? Kale, bye.